So hi and welcome back. In this video I'm going to give you more details on the way I actually hosted the whole solution in Amazon Web Services in Amazon Cloud. So my original idea was that so remember I had three types of services. So I had the events service, that's the service that ingests the events coming from the mobile devices. I also had the web service, the service that that serves the statistics to the website where you can see how your application is performing. And I had another kind of service. It was a stats service, the service that runs in the background, gets the events from Kafka and calculates the statistics, put them in the MongoDB. So I plan to run it all in Amazon WS, like either as a Kubernetes or container service, I think it's called. Well, and I wanted to use Kafka's Amazon managed service, so the Kafka cluster somewhere deployed somewhere in Amazon, and I would have the same thing. So Amazon managed cluster of MongoDB machines. So my services would just somehow interact with those Amazon managed storage solutions. So because all these three parts, the Kubernetes and Kafka and MongoDB, because all of them basically they cost hundreds of euro, I end up just doing something for this experiment. I really simplified simplified is maybe not the right word. I modified the way I deployed this service. So basically what I did, I bought two EC2 instances in Amazon. So that's going to be EC2 instance, it's going to be EC2 instance. So I bought the minimal instances I could use to run everything. So basically, yeah, in those instances I have a Docker container, Docker installed, and inside of the Docker I'm running my services. I also run next to the Docker and containers, I'm running the Kafka, and I'm running the MongoDB. So basically the same thing happens for the next machine. So I also have this Docker inside of it. I have a couple of, all my services are, there is one instance of each service on one EC2 instance, and one instance of the service in another EC2 instance. I have another instance of Kafka running here and another instance of MongoDB. So yeah, basically I set up Kafka and MongoDB manually to run as a cluster on these two EC2 instances that I bought. It required some figuring out how to configure it correctly, and I deployed those instances in Amazon virtual private cloud, so Amazon VPC, and so for that's Amazon VPC is attached. There is a internet gateway attached to it, and basically I run those instances in two different availability zones. So I have availability zone A and availability zone B. So that's basically if my client application cannot connect to the services in one availability zone, it should be able to connect to them in different availability zones. So what I have in those availability zones, I have a bunch of subnets. So I have private subnets where I keep my EC2 instances, and I have two, each of the availability in every availability zone I have a public subnet, and inside of this public subnet I have a load balancer that is running across those availability zones. So the load balancer is routed to have all the traffic, all the external traffic go through the internet gateway, and that's basically how we connect to the rest of the internet. And I configured my EC2 instances to accept traffic from the load balancer, and well, that's how my EC2 instances connect to the internet. So when you get the request, it gets to the load balancer in running in two availability zones, and which then forwards the request to the EC2 instance, and that's EC2 instance, well, request ends up on one of these services running inside Docker, and that service talks to the Kafka cluster and MongoDB master replica setup. And yeah, so I end up paying very like I'm paying around 50 euro a month as with this setup, because most expensive thing is this EC2 instance. I had to go with the one that has 2 gigabytes of memory, I think, because otherwise just Kafka just ate all the memory immediately. So I tried to really hard to squeeze it all into 1 gigabyte instance just to pay less, but and have one instance for free, because I'm still running on a free tier. But it was not possible to just Kafka just started to get more and more memory all the time, and very quickly I went to the situation that my instances started swapping to disk, like, and whole the whole CPU power was just went to swapping, so it was not manageable. So I end up, I think it was T2 T3 small instances, well, I don't remember exactly, but we're going to look at that in the next videos. So how I used the CloudFormation template to get this whole infrastructure up and running. And so for that, stay tuned, and thank you for watching this video, and see you next time. Bye.